Hi everyone, my name is Shelby. Welcome back to my channel, Grace with Books. Today I'm going to be starting a weekly reading vlog. I know typically I usually do weekend reading vlogs, but I thought it would be fun to vlog this whole week because I have a very special reading plan for this week. This week I just want to read graphic novels. I actually adore graphic novels. I read them all the time as a kid. It's basically what got me my start in reading. And recently I have been trying to get back into them because they were such a big part of my life. So I went to my dad for some recommendations. My dad is also a big graphic novel reader, and his suggestions combined with a few that I want to read kind of made up the TBR for this week. Before going into my TBR, I just want to mention that this is my last week of school. My finals week starts this Thursday, and you're probably thinking, Shelby, why are you vlogging during finals week? And my answer is apparently because I hate myself. And with that, let's get to my TBR for this week. So the first book that I have here is one that I'm already in the middle of, and that would be Monstrous Volume 3 by Marjorie and illustrated by Sana Takeda. So Monstrous takes place in this kind of steampunk horror world where a girl named Maika Halfwolf, who has been orphaned by the big war that occurred in her land, discovers she has this very ancient monster slash deity living inside her, and she has to go on a quest to kind of figure out, how it got there and discover the truth about her own personal origins. This is a horror graphic novel. It's a little bit scary, I won't lie. The illustrations are so haunting and beautiful that it's just been so much fun to read. I think the world building in this book is really great. There is so many cool different species running around this fantasy world, and it's just been kind of so fun to discover all the different parts of it. And you learn new stuff in every book, and we keep searching for answers, and that I think really has been what's propelled me to keep going with this book, is because I want to know and I want to solve all the mysteries that have occurred in the book. So I've been really enjoying this, and I would love to finish it this week. And if I do finish it and everything else on my TBR, I do have volume 4 to read. The next book I have on my TBR actually just came out on Netflix, I think, as a TV show. So it was a graphic novel and then Netflix adapted it. And before I watch the Netflix show, I would love to read the graphic novel. This is one of my dad's suggestions, and that would be Jupiter's Legacy. And this is by Mark Miller and Frank Quitely. Jupiter's Legacy follows two children of these big superheroes, and it's kind of about them trying to fill their parents' very large shoes. Despite the fact that they are like this superhero family, their family is quite dysfunctional, and I believe that this graphic novel kind of follows them through this dysfunction and the massive fights that they have, and it looks really interesting, and the Netflix show looks really interesting, so I'm very excited to try it for the first time. The next book I have with me is another one of my dad's suggestions. This is a very famous graphic novel series, and it is by Neil Gaiman, and it is Sandman. Sandman, I believe, follows these like different deities slash gods, and in specific we follow the deity called Dream, who kind of has like sovereign over the dream world. I believe he is also called Morpheus, which is obviously the Greek name for the god of dreams. I don't know much about this one beyond it, other than that it is a really famous graphic novel series. It is one that has a very large fan base, and I know different characters and different figures from different mythologies appear throughout the book. I know that there's like Lucifer and John Constantine, so it is definitely a mesh of cultures and one that I'm very excited to read about. The fourth and final graphic novel I would love to get to this week is Lock and Key, and this is by Joe Hill and illustrated by Gabriel Rodriguez. Lock and Key is a Netflix show. If the name sounds familiar to you, it was a graphic novel first and it was adapted to the Netflix show, and I've already watched the show and I'm really excited to read the graphic novel. Basically, this follows a very old and mysterious house called the Key House, where different keys unlock different doors that like mess with your mind and your perception of reality. And there's a very dark and mysterious creature living in the house who is trying to gather all the keys to open the last door, which holds this very mysterious and dark entity. I know that in the show you have a family moving into the house and the kids are the ones who discover like all the keys and like try to figure out what they do. I'm not sure how much of that was taken from the graphic novel itself, but I guess I'll find out. I'm super excited to read this one. I really liked the Netflix show and I'm excited to see what the source material holds. So that is my TBR for the week. These 4 graphic novels. I am super excited to get to them. Currently it is 9:30. I actually have my last class of the semester in like an hour, so I'm gonna go grab Starbucks with my roommate and we are going to do that class and we are going to get to reading. I am super excited to spend the week with you guys. It is like 7 p.m. now and I feel like this day has been both very productive and very lazy. Because like I did all my classes and my work in the morning and then like from 1 p.m. onward, I have been a huge bum. I did get a lot of reading in Monstrous Volume 3 done. I'm about 66% of the way through according to Goodreads and I really like it so far. I like how it's furthering the story. One thing that I really like in this series as a whole is that obviously with this world that the story takes place in, there has to be a lot of world building and a lot of explanation of the history of the world because they kind of just throw you right in at the beginning. So every few chapters, to kind of supplement what they tell you about the world through conversation and action, they have like a little interlude, I guess you could call it. They'll give you like a history lesson, just like a page worth of a history lesson about the place and the deities and the gods of this world. So I really like that because it is kind of hard when you're thrown into a series to kind of catch up with like the magic and the world and the people. But the fact that like every few chapters they have this kind of like break in the story to like give you information, I actually really like. And it's been helping me kind of like comprehend everything better, I guess. So I really like that they did that in this series. But yeah, I'm kind of hoping to finish this tonight, potentially. That would be great. As I said, I only have 40-ish% left to go in the book, and with graphic novels that really isn't a lot since they go pretty fast. So I'm hoping to get this done by tonight. Tomorrow is like the university's reading day, so it's like the day they give off before like exams officially start. Luckily, I personally don't have an exam until Friday, so I kind of have Wednesday and Thursday off. So I'm planning to do a nice combination of reading and studying, so I will take you guys along with me for that. I just really want some like soft music, some tea, to do some reading, maybe play some Animal Crossing. I haven't been on Animal Crossing in a really long time, and I'm sure all my villagers hate me, so we will have to go check on that. But those are the kind of things I want to do to kind of rest and relax tonight before the stress of the next few days. But that is the plan. So we are gonna go get some tea and start to kind of unwind from the year and really start to unwind from the semester. Right now, but you know what? That is okay. Good morning, you guys. It is Wednesday, and I've had actually a very productive morning so far. I got up, I worked out, and then I had some breakfast, and during breakfast, I finished Monstrous Volume 3. This damn graphic novel ended on a cliffhanger, but I have the 4th volume, so that's good that I can like read and find out what happens, because one of my favorite characters, something bad happened to them, and now I have to wait till the next volume to find out what happened. So that's kind of stressing me out because they are actually like one of my favorite characters in this book. So we'll have to wait and see what happens to her. I overall really liked this volume. I think that there was a lot of action and a lot of plot that really moved the story forward rather than kind of them just staying very static. I would love to see more character growth in the main character, Maika. She kind of is always in violence mode, and I feel like she's not really learning from her circumstances. So I don't know, maybe we'll get more character growth later, but I would love to see just like any kind of development in her character because she seems very static as of right now. So that's something I'm hoping for in the future. But as I said, like the story and the plot and the action were all great. I ended up giving it 4 stars. And it was just a really great installment that was very entertaining. So I was going to start Sandman today, but I think I have the wrong volume from home. I think I have the 3rd volume and I need the 1st volume, so that might call for a Barnes & Noble trip later to get the 1st one. But luckily, that just means I can start a different book today. So I will be starting Jupiter's Legacy by Mark Miller and Frank Quitely. I watched the trailer for Jupiter's Legacy yesterday because it's a show on Netflix. I watched the trailer for the first time and it got me very excited for this book. Sorry, that was the dog just, you know, shaking. Do you want to come say hi? Come on. Oh. This is the troublemaker. This is Bobo. He is my roommate's dog and he is a little rascal, honestly. Yeah, you are. You're a rascal. As I was saying, I watched the Jupiter's Legacy trailer. It looked really good and it got me very excited to read it. So, oh, bye. I'm excited to start it. So I will be doing that today. I've also been doing a lot of studying this morning. For those who are curious, I like to use the Pomodoro method of studying, which is 25 minutes of work, 5-minute break, then 25 more minutes of work, and you do that 4 times. So I've been doing that this morning, but I just finished 1 session of it. So I'm gonna go make lunch now. I'm really excited to make lunch. I have a good recipe I wanna try, and then we will get back to reading. I have not started this yet. I think I'm gonna start it at lunch. So it's just a lot of fun stuff that is gonna happen today. Lots of work, lots of reading, all the good stuff. It's like a really gloomy day outside, so I don't know if I'll be going out at all. But yeah, that is all the update I have for you guys. Let's go make some lunch and keep on keeping on. I feel like this vlog is going to be turning into I read a graphic novel a day kind of vlog because I just finished Jupiter's Legacy #1. I actually really enjoyed this book. If you're familiar with The Boys on Amazon Prime, that TV show, it's kind of similar in the fact that you have a bunch of superheroes who like live by this very strong moral, ethical code, and then what happens if a sect of those superheroes decide to start abusing their power. So I found it very interesting in that regard. I loved the art style, I loved the progression of time and the origin stories. This book, you're supposed to read it in a very specific manner. You're supposed to read the first book, then the 3rd and the 4th book, and then the 2nd book. Apparently that's like the best way to read it, so I guess I'm moving on to the 3rd book now after this. But yeah, so that was a great graphic novel. I enjoyed it so much more than I thought I would. I thought it was just so wonderful, the development of the characters, and I can't wait to see more about them in the next installment. So that's super exciting. So I have consulted my graphic novel expert, aka my father, and he said it actually is okay for me to read this book, to read Sandman, even though it is the 3rd volume. This installment is essentially just a collection of short stories taking place in the Sandman world. He gave me a little bit of background info that I needed to kind of understand the stories, but nothing that spoils the first 2 volumes in the series. So I will be reading this one. I'm very excited. I like that it's a series of short stories. One of them is called A Midsummer Night's Dream. That's my favorite Shakespeare play, so I have high hopes for that one. But yeah, so I will be starting this one next. It is currently 6:30 and I am in, you know, actual clothes because I'm going out for drinks with some friends. You know, it's almost the end of the semester, so I'm starting to like say hi and bye to people for the last time. So we are going out for drinks tonight. I'm very excited. It's also a really good taco place, so I might get some tacos. So that's exciting for me. So we're gonna go do that, and then when I get back tonight, it will be starting Sandman, which I'm very excited about. Hi guys, so it is Friday. I did not film at all yesterday like I was planning to, and then everything just got like very busy very quickly for me, so I just didn't get a chance to film anything. But I am back today. Today's Friday. I just finished my first exam, which is like such a weight off of my chest. It feels really good, only 2 more to go, and I got a little bit into Sandman. So as I said earlier, this installment is a collection of short stories featuring characters from the Sandman series. I have read one of the short stories so far. This is definitely not like a young adult or middle grade read. There are some pretty graphic images and themes in this book. Definitely look up trigger warnings if you are thinking of reading it. But I thought it was really good. It was a really scary short story. I was, you know, fully paying attention the whole time. I couldn't put it down when I was reading it. And it gave me an introduction to some of the characters and the relationships that take place in the Sandman world. So I do like the short story format. I'm excited to see what the rest of them have to offer. I think it's actually different illustrators for each story. I'm not sure though, I'll have to check. But yeah, so I'm excited to keep going with this. The reason I am all done up and pretty today is because I need to film a video right now. By the time this video comes out, the video I'm about to film will have already come out. So if you haven't watched my Friends to Lovers trope recommendations video, be sure to go do that, because that is what I'm about to film. I just love enemies to lovers so much, but recently I've been trying to branch out with my romance tropes, so I'm excited to share some of my recent favorite books involving the friends to lovers trope. So yeah, I'm going to film that video. I'm not quite sure what I'm gonna do after that. Probably try to study some more for my exams next week, and definitely read a few more stories in Sandman, and I'll give you guys an update then.
Take my hand and hold it tight. Look at the paintings, I'll be your guide. Don't stop looking in my eyes.
Good morning, you guys. It is Saturday. I have been up for a while. I've already gone to the bookstore, as you could see in my last few clips. I showed you guys the books that I got there, but I'm just gonna show them again because I'm really excited about both of them. The first book that I got was Heartstopper Volume 2 by Alice Oseman. I love Heartstopper Volume 1. It is also a graphic novel, so you know it fits in well with the theme of the week. This is the second volume in the series, and I believe the third volume actually came out pretty recently, so I'm really excited to catch up with this series finally. It follows Nick and Charlie and their friendship and relationship. So excited to see where their story goes, so this is the first book that I bought. The second book that I got is one that I have been eyeing for a while, and it is Song of Achilles by Madeline Miller. This is a Greek mythology retelling, telling the story of Achilles, and I'm gonna butcher his name, but I think it's Patroclus, I believe, and it's about their relationship. So actually both of my books that I got today have queer main characters, which is really awesome. I didn't even notice that when I bought it, but it's just in time for Pride Month, so these will definitely be on my TBR next June. So I'm super excited to read those books. But as for the books I've been reading this week, I finished Sandman. Yes, I did, and it makes me so much more excited to read the first 2 volumes now because I really enjoyed the short stories. There are definitely ones I enjoyed more than others. For example, 2 short stories in this graphic novel that I really liked were A Dream of a Thousand Cats and A Midsummer Night Dream. A Dream of a Thousand Cats was really funny mostly. It's about all these cats kind of coming together to listen to this famous cat speak, and she tells them of a world where humans are no longer the rulers, that cats are the alphas in the world, and this like prophet cat kind of preaches to them how if they all dream together, the world can be like that that again. So that was just kind of like a fun one. And then the other one I really adored in this collection was A Midsummer Night Dream. And it is very similar to A Midsummer Night Dream, the Shakespeare play. It actually follows Shakespeare and his family performing the show for the actual characters. So they perform A Midsummer Night Dream for Queen Tatiana and King Oberon and Puck and all of the characters in A Midsummer Night Dream. So it's kind of this meta performance. And I thought it was so funny because as you're watching the play, you're also hearing the commentary from the actual fae. So it was just this kind of really creepy but also funny story, and I just really loved it. So those are my two favorites from this collection. As I said, this is kind of separate from the Sandman world, so I'm really excited to go back and read the first two books soon, hopefully, when I get them. So I've already started my final book for the week, which is Lock and Key by Joe Hill. Just off the bat, my first impressions, I'm not sure if I'm going to love this one as much as I've loved the other three books that I have read for this. I don't know, the art style isn't really clicking with me. I'm having trouble keeping motivation to read it, and whether that be because I saw the show on Netflix so I kind of know where things are going, or just because I don't like it in this format. I'm not quite sure yet, but hopefully I will, you know, get into it soon, finish it, and give you my thoughts. But so far, I'm not really enjoying it, and I feel like I need to read it more to really understand why, but hopefully it does get better as we go along. So that is the update for now. I'm really hoping to get Lock and Key finished by the end of today, so hopefully we'll be wrapping up this vlog today, but it kind of just depends on my own studying and how far and if I can motivate myself to read it, but I will come back with an update soon. Hey guys, I am here with my final update for this vlog. I have just finished Lock and Key by Joe Hill, and I'm gonna give you guys my thoughts. So earlier I mentioned that I wasn't really vibing with the art style of this graphic novel and just not with the overall story, and I couldn't figure out if that was because I had already seen the TV show before reading this, and I do think that plays a big part in my final thoughts because I just didn't like this one as much as the other graphic novels that I read this week. It was extremely graphic. They definitely toned it down a lot for Netflix, which is why I kind of went in thinking it would be more of a light read, but it gets extremely graphic, extremely fast, and the art style just made it worse for me, I guess. And as I've said before, I'm not against horror manga. Monstrous is a horror manga, but this kind of just took it to a new level of like, ugh, for me. I didn't really like the characters. I feel like I didn't get to know them that well in this book, and I just thought it was really gross at some times, and I just didn't like it. And I think it might honestly be a personal taste thing. I didn't like this art style. I didn't like the style of writing in it, so those are more taste rather than anything else. Like, I'm sure if you haven't seen the Netflix show and you are in the mood for a horror graphic novel, this might be a good choice for you, but for me, given all those circumstances, I just didn't like it. So I'm like leaning towards a 2 or a 3 star right now, possibly 2. So yeah, this was not great, but the rest of the books that I did read for this vlog were, which was pretty cool. I actually am very happy with how this entire week of graphic novels went. I was able to get a lot of reading done, which really helped my overall Goodreads goal. So if you are looking to, you know, up the ante on your Goodreads goal, picking up graphic novels is a great choice because it really helps with your count. Not that I'm just trying to get a good count on Goodreads. I am happy that I read these because they're all graphic novels I have been wanting to read for a while, and I can't wait to continue with 3 out of 4 of these series. Graphic novels are definitely something I want to start incorporating in my reading more often, so I'm glad that I kind of got a head start on that with this vlog, and I hope you guys enjoyed it. So if you guys liked this video, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Hit the notification bell to get updates on when I post. I post every single week, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!